Expert news and views on the Lowcountry real estate scene. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. And if you're just joining us, we're really talking about misinformation in the market right now and how that is shaping your perception of both the market and the process. You know, if you guys have listened to the show, I'm all about providing you with accurate, reliable information. And so before we go any further, I really need to get this kind of just off my chest. We're experiencing, in my opinion, an epidemic in America right now, and it's causing, in my opinion, a fairly severe issue, and it's just the lack of quality, trustworthy information. People are so indoctrinated with misinformation and fake news and ignorance that despite unparalleled access to information, we as a people are being told what to think rather than thinking critically for ourselves. I mean, you see it on nearly every Facebook post. I mean, how many people have seen those Facebook posts of, chug a glass of wine before bed and lose weight, eat cheese and drink, milkshakes and you'll lose weight. I mean, it's like, that just doesn't sound right. So, I mean, you just see it everywhere. You read the comments section on the news articles. You see it all over YouTube from people that have learned how to generate millions of subscribers, yet the information they provide is more for entertainment value than it is for the betterment of society. And so my show is an effort, among other things, to separate fact from fiction, to provide you with quality, trustworthy, and applicable information so you can be an informed consumer. And if you don't learn how to question the validity of information and do your own research, then you're simply absorbing somebody else's opinion. I mean, I'm serious. You have to put an effort into thinking critically because other people can't do it for you. And we live in an era of instant gratification, and we take everything for face value. And so I will just say that, a lot of my clients are well-informed. They're well-established. They want to work with an agent that's well-established, experienced, that has passion, integrity, results, that has been doing this for a long time and knows how to get the job done and create a great experience for them. But I want to kind of, pick apart a few different articles and just things that I've seen recently that just kind of make my blood boil, if I'm being totally honest. And so this first article is entitled, "What I've Learned from Visiting 100+ Open Houses in a Year." And it comes from a very reputable website, Realtor.com, but the article is written by a former screenwriter turned freelance journalist. And so I think the first thing we have to say is, does that sound like an authority on real estate matters? Why this website even agreed to post this article is beyond me, but it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. And so, first of all, I would hope that people that are listening would question the opinion and validity of a person that visits over 100 open houses before they buy something. I mean, that in and of itself should be somewhat of a red flag. And the buyer says in the first paragraph of her article, quote, "Let me be clear, I'm not some overly picky real estate window shopper because I have made offers and I've just been outbid. Where I'm looking, that's just par for the course." End quote. So there are several parts of this article that justify why I believe covering this in my show today is one of the best things I can do to help you prepare for the process of buying, selling, and investing in real estate, which is what this show is all about. And I promise you this is not going to just be me complaining for the next 30, 45 minutes. I want you guys to walk away from the show with some usable, reliable information. But obviously I need to set the stage a little bit here, right? So one of her articles talks about personal quirks on display. And it says, steak sauce, mustard, and hot sauce. These condiments were not in the kitchen, as one would expect, but on a dresser in a bedroom of an open house I attended. Right then and there, I knew I had to get out of that house. Who knows what was going on there, but it was just too weird for me to stick around and ponder the possibilities. So she goes on to say, remove all personal items, including family photos, unusual collectibles, memorabilia, and misplaced condiments. First of all, yes, first impressions are important. Put yourself in my shoes for a minute, the shoes of a real estate agent. Let's say that you're a realtor. You've taken time out of your weekend to show homes to a prospective buyer, rather than spending some quality time with your family. and you put in a lot of time and effort and research into the homes that you're showing your client because you believe this fits their needs, something they should be interested enough to make an offer, right? And so then you walk into a bedroom and the buyer starts talking about condiments on a dresser, and then they say they have to leave the house immediately, that this home just must not be for them. I mean, you would think that buyer is a little off their rocker, right? I mean, the fact that this kind of information is passing off as advice is it's silly to me. And if you can't focus on the house instead of the condiments on the dresser, then maybe you need to do a checkup from the neck up. Maybe you need to focus a little bit more on the real estate. And if you're working with a real estate agent that's walking around and they're pointing these things out and they're looking at family photos, and I mean, there have been so many times, so many clients that we've worked with where, agents are sitting there bad-mouthing decor and family photo. It's just totally unprofessional. I mean, you just wouldn't believe some of the ridiculous, useless feedback that we get on some of our listings as well. So if you're trying to buy a house and the realtor is, making these comments, they're not helping you, and you need to find a real professional. But anyways, enough about that. Back to the article. Just make sure you're working with a professional realtor. That's all I'll say about that. But she goes on to say that, she was walking through a condo that, at least online, she loved. And the showing was going really well until she looked in the pantry and she noticed a bunch of packaging she remembered from her childhood at her grandmother's house. She immediately realized the place needed a ton of work and didn't proceed. And so my comments on that, I mean, that's just a ridiculous generalization. That's really just kind of unfair to all parties involved. They may have kept their property in immaculate condition and just chose not to do things cosmetically to update it. I mean, as a buyer, try not to read too much into things. As a seller, if you and your agent are concerned that buyers are going to question the quality of your home because it's simply outdated, then you can kind of quell that fear-based distraction by getting a pre-listing home inspection, which is something we offer for free when you list with us. And I don't want you to think that I'm just picking on this person in this article because she's turned her home shopping experience into an entertaining story disguised as useful information. I mean, there's plenty of other articles out there from multiple sites that would be considered to be reputable. And one of them is, 7 small home flaws that could be big deals for buyers. And it opens with saying, after living in the same home for a while, it's amazing what you can get used to. A creaky floorboard, for instance, a chipped tile that you've been meaning to replace, a doorknob that needs a little coating to turn. No big deal, right? Well, these small flaws could be huge deal breakers when you decide to sell your house. So you're online, you're reading these articles to help prepare you for your upcoming home sale, your upcoming home purchase. And you read a sentence like that. I mean, do you keep reading? Yeah, of course you do. I mean, that's a nice little hook right there. What are these hidden things that are clearly causing huge issues for home sellers? What as a buyer can I add to the list of things to potentially get more money out of the seller? What else can I play hardball on and force sellers to cave on and buckle under my every demand? Before I pick this article apart, let me just give you a little dose of reality, I suppose. In many areas of Charleston, it's still a seller's market. Like as I just mentioned, Mount Pleasant, 750 to $1 million, it is not a seller's market right now. You need to have realistic expectations about how this process is going to go before you start it. And there are so many things in this article that are suggested that I think are just setting you up for heartbreak. I mean, here's another example. The location of your laundry room is what this says. Even if you own a state-of-the-art washer and dryer and plan to bestow them to your lucky buyers, they may not be so thrilled with these nice appliances if they aren't situated in what they think is the right place. You might be fine doing your laundry in your dining room or in your garage, but don't expect all buyers to feel the same way. Offer to move these things to a new locale to warm buyers up. And so guess what you've just done right there? You've given something away for free. Buyers might be totally fine with the location of your laundry room, but now that they know you're willing to spend money on that perceived issue, so they're going to apply it to something else. if they're fine with that laundry room, but they know it's going to cost you a pretty penny to move that stuff, they're just going to apply that discount elsewhere. And then you're going to say, well, wait a minute, I didn't agree to that. Well, yeah, you kind of did. You've preemptively drawn attention to something that buyers might not have noticed before, which is the other issue. The better option would be to offer this as an option after the fact in an attempt to try and put a deal together. And of course, in order to do that, you have to be working with an agent that's committed to actually monitoring the feedback of your home and talking with the agent that showed the property over the phone and acting as a salesman to try and put a deal together. But unfortunately, with all the sellers we work with, over 60% of the homes that we sell were previously listed with other real estate agents before we were hired to sell it. And so with all these sellers we work with, the majority of them are saying to us, communication was the biggest issue with our previous client, and we don't know what the feedback was. They're taking feedback at face value, even if it's produced in the first place, and they're not digging deeper to see if something could have been done to overcome the objection and make a sale, which is just sales 101. But, so many agents out there have kind of lost the art of selling because they're so darn used to the market being so easy. They stick a sign in the yard, they put it in the MLS, they take some nice photos, and then they sell a house, and they make thousands and thousands of dollars. Seems pretty good, right? Here's the last example I'm going to give you on this article, and I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, but this one to me is just, oh my God, it's so ridiculous. The walls of your kitchen. Some people make that love open kitchens. So if your kitchen currently has 4 walls, you're probably in trouble. Buyers might look at the possibility of breaking down a wall, but be warned, many might not want to do the work, or just get such a bad first impression of your kitchen that they move on entirely. If you think your kitchen's 4 walls feel cramped and is stalling your sale, consider opening it up yourself. Here's how to knock down a wall. Oh my God. Please do not knock down a wall in your house from some sort of article that you've read online. That is absurd to me. And Realtor.com, if you go to their website, it appears as though it's a really reputable website, and it published by the National Association of Realtors, which gives consumers this level of confidence in the accuracy and kind of unbiased nature of the information on their site. But in reality, several years ago, Realtor.com was acquired by a company called Move Incorporated, which is a subsidiary of News Corp. And they said, this is I found this in an article in January of 2015. News Corp plans to beef up Realtor.com's editorial content. Just a week after closing the Move acquisition, News Corp began integrating content from the Wall Street Journal and other News Corp media companies with Realtor.com. In addition to tapping other News Corp media companies, Move will produce its own content in-house with a new editorial team. Home buyers are a discerning group, Move Incorporated Robert Thompson said. He's the CEO of Move.com. High-quality journalism, something News Corp knows how to produce, will engage Realtor.com's audience and sharpen Move's focus on increasing its agent advertisers' return on investment. And so why do I mention this? Because in my opinion, a lot of the articles that are posted on these sites that are disguised as helpful information for you are, frankly, they're mostly garbage. That's why I mention it. And so they seem to be written more for entertainment value than anything else. And you have to understand, I'm a huge proponent of quality, reliable, realistic, useful information. That's what this whole show is about. A recent article, I tell you what, we're going to take a break. When I come back, I'm going to talk about that because it relates to doing things like staging your home, preparing it for sale. And I just want to give you an example of how this can really send you down the wrong path. So stick around. It's getting exciting, hopefully, for you guys. If you want more information on how to sell your home the right way, how to approach the process, how to sell it for the most money in the least amount of time, how to reduce stress, give me a call, 843-345-1273. That's 345-1273. Or visit our website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. And stick around for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker 1250, WTMA, and WTMA.com. We'll be right back.
It's It's the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. Broadcast Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday mornings at 10 on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.